First and foremost, I too would like to join with other colleagues in expressing my sympathy to the family of Brendan Grace and Noel Whelan. Noel Whelan contacted me 2 days after I got elected to this House in 2014 and asked to meet me. And he met me downtown and he spent 2 hours with me, advising me and expressing his wishes and his desires for the way the Senate would develop over the coming years. And I thought it was the most generous act. I had never met the man before in my life, and I met him several times since. And he's been at the forefront of so many changes in Irish society. He will be dearly missed. The summer around Ireland will not be the same without Brendan Grace, and that has to be said. Now, Cathaoirleach, this weekend we have the commemoration ceremonies in Island Bridge on Saturday and in Collins's Barracks on Sunday. The Island Bridge affair this year will be attended by a fairly large contingent from the former UDR. Now, the UDR there are many different interpretations as to the history of the UDR. And I had the privilege some weeks ago of addressing a gathering of the UDR, where the topic I chose was collusion. And I spoke openly to the regiment gathering about collusion during the Troubles in Northern Ireland and about the atrocities that were committed. But I also spoke about the decent men and women who were members of the Ulster Defence Regiment, who got out of their houses in the evening and patrolled Northern Ireland, who guarded vital installations, who made sure that terrorist movements around Northern Ireland were disrupted. And that's not for one moment excusing the fact that terrorists were also involved in that organisation. But there were decent men and women there who did what they thought was right. And the interesting thing when you look at the UDR establishment was the number of Catholics that were involved in the very early days. And they were run out of it, not by Protestants, but by Catholics. So I'm delighted that some of them will attend Island Bridge this year. I think it's a great step forward. And in bringing this to this House today, I would ask, the constant calls we're getting for border polls. The people in Northern Ireland know the direction this country is moving in. They do not need to be goaded. They do not need to be constantly threatened. I was asked recently by a group of unionists in Northern Ireland, is it true that we would put them in concentration camps when the unification takes place? I was absolutely appalled to be asked that question, but it's actually a belief that's held among some. So what I'm asking is that as we move forward, I have to compliment the government. The government has taken what I call a softly approach in the entire area of Northern Ireland, and I would ask that that would continue as we move forward, and that instead of talking about border polls, we start trying to find a way to get the communities to work together in Northern Ireland. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Senator.